Hey, what's going on everyone? Crush back here with another video. Hope everyone's had a great day. I have, and today I'm going to be taking the political compass test. Now, in case you're wondering what this is, basically I take a test to determine where I am on the political spectrum. Over here are some of the results that you can get. So you can get like left, right, and pretty much anywhere on the political spectrum. Now, real quick before I take the test, just note that I'm not really a politician type person or like a politics guy. I base everything for the most part off common sense because obviously both sides can be fucking stupid as shit, especially right now most of the time. So I base everything off common sense and not just one political party. And when I answer these questions, it's purely off common sense. I'm not an expert in this field whatsoever. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. And no matter where I get ranked, just know it's all from common sense. It's not because I'm either, let's say I go and get ranked far right. That doesn't mean I'm a white supremacist, even though the test might say it. Or if I am far left, that doesn't mean I'm a communist Antifa member. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And also, in case I don't know what some of these words mean, because obviously we are using big boy words that we learned in middle school, except me, because I forgot, because it's been a while since I was in high school and middle school, such as economic globalization. I might have to Google some of these words, which will be cut out from the recording just so it doesn't take as long. And yeah, I'll answer everything to the best of my ability. I might get some questions mixed up in what they're asking or what they're saying, and if I do get anything mixed up, please correct me in the comment section if you really care that much. And yeah, that's really all I got. So yeah, let's get into it. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. I think it's talking about, I think economic globalization has to do with like trade or whatever. I might be wrong. And I know transnational corporations is like multiple country companies, I believe, such as like Amazon, Google. Yeah, super big tech companies such as that. Now, do I believe that individuals should be prioritized over these big companies? I mean, I guess it all depends, but yeah, I'd say so, because I think that let's use the government, for example, because the government controls quite a bit that has to do with what's going on in our country, obviously. I think that individuals should be prioritized over big companies, because big companies, let's be real, they can pretty much support themselves. Now, again, this is just what I'm interpreting from the question. I might be entirely wrong, and if I am, correct me, okay? Because I'm not saying I'm smart, you know? So anyway, let's move on. I'd always support my country whether it's right or wrong. No, I would not, because United States has been doing a lot of dumb shit lately, such as like how they pulled out of Afghanistan. Now, I'm proud to be an American because I think America is one of the best countries out there when it comes to what you're allowed to do. But that doesn't mean I'm going to support everything, you know? I won't always support my country. Now, as a whole, I will always side with America. However, with certain decisions that they make, I can't side. Like Afghanistan, for example. That shit was a disaster thanks to fucking Biden's stupid ass. So, yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with that. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Obviously, this first part's true. But I don't think you need to hate it. I don't think you need to hate it. Now, I'm going to disagree, obviously, because as an American, born and raised here, like I said in the previous question, I'm proud of my country. I will overall stand with my country in the end. However, I don't agree with everything it does. That's all I have to say. However, again, if I compare it to countries like Afghanistan, which are now controlled by the Taliban, I don't support those crazy fucks at all who cut people's heads off and rape women and children. So with that being said, if you're born in Afghanistan and you don't support that, I can understand that. You know what I mean? This question is scenario based. So I'm going to say disagree, but I think it all depends on like where you're born and what's going on with it at the time, you know. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. So, I'm assuming it's talking about the human race, because if it was talking about like an individual, like white race for example, or blacks or Hispanics or Asians, you know what I mean? Then I think it would be listed, but I think it's talking about human race. So in that case, I'm going to strongly agree, because humans are way smarter than any other mammal or animal on Earth, you know? It only makes sense. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Strongly disagree. Now, again, it's scenario based. For me, for example, I have people that I consider, I don't want to say enemy because that shit sounds corny as fuck, but people I don't like. And just because someone else might not like them doesn't mean they're my friend. Military action that defines international law is sometimes justified. Yeah, I'd say so, because in war, there's rules for war. But let's say for Hitler, for example, if you had to, now, again, I think international law basically means the military can't invade like a country. Yeah, so it's saying it's a set of rules, norms, or standards recognized between, yeah, so it's basically an agreement. So I guess saying you don't invade my country and I won't invade yours is an international law. Now, again, I think it's all scenario based, but I think if you're in the middle of a war, like, you know, I think that's fair, you know, especially if you're up against someone like Hitler or someone that's like as equally evil or even not as evil but still not a good person, such as like the Taliban leader or Osama bin Laden or someone like that, then I think it's justified. There is now a warring fusion of information and entertainment. I think what that means is, well, fusion obviously is like combining stuff. So it's saying there's a warring fusion of putting information and entertainment together. Strongly agree, considering how much fake shit is out there, how much people lie. I mean, I think Hollywood is a perfect example of this. But yeah, I'm going to say strongly agree on that one. People are ultimately divided more by class and nationality. Agree, because I know I'm talking a little fast for this one, but I agree with this one because if you really think about it, rich people at wealthy jobs, for example, are more likely to live around other rich people and not live in like the hood or something like that. Not saying that they don't need to live in like the richest or the poorest area. They could live with like maybe people that are more middle class. But if you compare, like, let's use extremes again. Poor people, like people that work multiple 9 to 5s or whatever that live in the hood versus like Bill Gates. Chances are poor people know more poor people and are in more of that community, and Bill Gates is, well, I mean, obviously Bill Gates is probably going to either be by himself because he's that much higher than everyone, or around other rich people in the same type of environment. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good statement I just said. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. I need a little more information on this. If it's talking about unemployment, such as like veterans that are homeless that don't have anywhere to go, or not anywhere to go, but any job to work at, then obviously that's important. But is it talking about unemployment like these lazy fucks during coronavirus that are just collecting unemployment instead of working? I'd say, because I don't have enough information, I would say controlling inflation is more important, because if you have good inflation, everything's cheaper. You could buy more food if you're like not as rich as other people around, you know what I mean? I'm probably not going into enough detail on this one, but that's just what I'm going to put. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. I think they only require regulation if it's off their property. If they're like pouring pollution in the rivers and all that, then I think that there's going to be a big problem. But if they're doing whatever on their own property, I think that's fine as long as it doesn't affect their workers. I'm going to say agree because of like the river example, but not like strongly agree, you know what I mean? Because obviously this can be stretched. Like, for example, if we use mandating the vaccine, for example, I'm for the vaccine, just so we're clear. I got the vaccine. I got the booster. I got both COVID vaccines. Yeah, no, I'm for it for sure. But I'm one of those people that believes you get it if you want to get it. And I don't think that the government should force you to have to get it, you know? And that's why I'm not saying strongly agree, because chances are the government would probably try and push unnecessary regulations if they have all the power. So that's why I'm saying agree in this case, you know. From each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamental good idea. Don't quite know what that means. Okay, so apparently what it means is it refers to free access to the distributive. No, that's not. No, strongly disagree. I'm not a Marxist. Fuck that shit. Because I think people need to earn. They need to earn their shit. You know, we can't just be giving out free stuff because free stuff isn't free. Someone has to pay for it, and I don't want to pay for nobody else's shit. So, like for example, if you want, in this case, it's talking about free goods. If you're gonna get free goods, your tax is gonna go way up, and I don't want that. I would rather worry about myself than have free food when I get taxed a lot more. You know, if that kind of makes sense. I'm not trying to get into it, so that's all I'm trying to say. The freer the market, the freer the people. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, as long as everything's legal in the market, then I don't see a problem with that. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. No, I don't see anything wrong with that because companies need money too, and you don't need to buy it. You can filter out the dirt out of the water and make your own water if you want, or just collect rainwater. Or if you're really desperate and one of those people that just really does not want to pay for water, go to a water fountain, honestly. Or if you have a hose, just use that. Or if you have anything, just use tap water from your sink. It's that basic. So no, I strongly disagree. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought. Let me see what that means. I think it's talking about land shouldn't be a thing that's bought and sold. That makes no sense because if you don't buy land, then anyone can just come on your land, and if you tell them get out of here, then they'll be like, oh, it's my land too. Oh, and that makes no fucking sense. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contributing nothing to their society. I mean, that sounds a little bit selfish if you have like a lot of money and you don't give any to charity. Like if I was like Bill Gates, I mean Bill Gates, and I don't know about Jeff Bezos, but Bill Gates donates a lot of money for like to African students who don't have much down there, and he donates a lot to charity. So no, I don't agree with that at all. And also, even if Bill Gates didn't do that, it's his money. Do what you want. You're not obligated to do anything besides pay taxes. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. All right, let me see what this means. I don't know enough about it. I mean, I think that's kind of good though, because it will allow more American businesses to shine and prosper versus like Chinese businesses or like any other business that's outside of the United States. You know what I mean? So I'll agree. At least that's what I think that. I think that statement's valid with that question. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. I mean, shareholders could mean like, I'm pretty sure shareholders is like people that have stock in a company. And I'm not saying that's the only person that they should worry about, because they obviously need to pay their workers too. I'm not sure if it's mentioning the workers or not when it says shareholders, but I'm assuming it's not. So I'm just going to say strongly disagree. Now, this is one of the questions I'm not quite sure, so again, you can educate me if I'm wrong. The rich are too highly taxed. I think the rich are fine, honestly. Now, what I disagree with is, like, retards like AOC and Bernie Sanders trying to... I don't know if they said this exactly, but one of them, or not one of them, but someone that is either them or close to them said something like the rich should be taxed, like, 30 to 50% or something like that, which is just outrageous. And... here's the thing, if you're rich, chances are you worked really, really hard to get all that money. So I don't think you should be punished for being rich. I think that you should be taxed a little bit more, obviously, if you're in a different pay range than everyone else, like in a much higher league. But I don't think the government should be taxing rich people like crazy, you know? Anyway, moving on. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. When it says should, is it like saying something like you went to the store and you didn't get any strawberries? Well, you should have gotten it, or something like that. It's not exactly saying you need to get it. You know, if it said the ability to pay, you need to have access to higher. It didn't say that. It says you should. So it's kind of sounding like an opinionated question. I disagree. I think you can get whatever kind of medical care you want, honestly, again. I think it's all up to you. Now, do I personally think the rich, like, I'll bring up Bill Gates again. Do I think Bill Gates should have higher standards of medical care? Yeah, but it's his choice. It's his choice what he wants to pay for in that department. Government should penalize businesses that mislead the public. I agree. However, they're not. They're not, because if that was the case, then CNN probably wouldn't be a thing anymore, and Fox News would probably also have lost quite a bit of their articles. I mean, I don't know though, because the thing is, it's annoying. It's extremely annoying, but I also believe in freedom of speech. I think that it all varies. I'm gonna say disagree, but I think if there's like a middle option, I would say it varies, because if it's like a company that is sworn of telling the truth and nothing but the truth, then I would probably agree. However, there's also like The Onion, for example. The Onion creates fake articles that are meant to be funny, you know? And technically that's misled information, but it's satire, you know? So I'm going to just say disagree, because honestly, if everyone misled information, no matter what degree it was in, then everyone's going to suffer. So yeah, I'm just going to say disagree. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. What? Give me a minute, I have to look this up. I don't exactly know the answer to this, but after reading this guy, what he was saying, I'm not going to read all of it. You guys can just read over this. I'm going to say disagree, because again, I don't fully understand it. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Yes. As a Christian man, even though I'm not that good of a Christian, I'm against abortion. Because if you don't want a baby, it's this simple. Just get your man to wear a condom or take birth control. It's that simple. It's if you have a kid and you're not happy with it, that's your fault. You're an idiot. You should have thought about it when you were getting bent over. You should have told your man use protection, or you go on birth control, or something should have happened. But at that point, that's on you. That's all on you. That baby deserves to live. But if you're going to be selfish and take away a human life, then you're a piece of shit. I'm sorry. And also, it shouldn't just be the woman that decides it. I know it didn't say it in here, but I think both people should be able to decide. And even if they don't want it, I still think it should be illegal. All authority should be questioned. Yeah, I agree. I don't see why not. I think that I think people have the right to question authority. For example, like if there's something going on with the police and they're acting super shady, even if they're not shady, I think they should be questioned, because I think it's people's rights to question people, such as the police, politicians, or whoever, if they believe there's corruption. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. No. I think if you do that, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. I think that, I think you can gain, I think if you take an eye, for example, you take a deal from a company, I don't see why you'd pay the price for it, assuming it's a good deal. I think it all depends on the scenario, though. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that they cannot survive on a commercial basis. The thing is, these are, at least with museums, they are government buildings. At least some of them are. And I think if there's government buildings, then I'm not saying up your tax, but I'm just saying that your taxes are probably going to be spent paying for the museum. So I'm going to disagree. And also, museums are part of our history, man. Like, I think that's at least somewhat valid, you know. Schools should not make classroom attendance, I'm guessing that means necessary. Let me look it up. Okay, so yeah, it means requirement. Schools should not make classroom attendance required. Strongly disagree. I think that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, because if you don't take attendance, then how are you going to prove that a kid was there, for example, or he wasn't there? You know? I mean, okay, it's easy to prove if they're not there, but I think it's dumb, you know, and I don't see why you shouldn't have that. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. It all depends on what you mean. If we believe in different politics, no, I disagree. I think that just because you disagree with someone on one thing doesn't mean you guys still can't be friends. I think that obviously there's some people that just cannot be together, but I think, like, for example, I have friends that believe in different political opinions than me. I'll still be their friend as long as they'll be mine, you know? And that also makes friendships more interesting when not everyone is the same. So, yeah, it's that simple. Good parents sometimes have to spank. Of course. I got the shit beaten at me when I was a kid for doing dumb stuff. It's natural for children to keep some secret. Yeah, of course. Everyone has secrets that they don't tell their parents. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be. Yes, I agree. I mean, it all depends on your age, but yeah, I agree. Now, if you use it behind the wheel or something like that, I think it should have like the same laws alcohol has. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation. Yes, it definitely should. That's all I gotta say for that one. People with serious with serious disability should not be allowed to. No, come on. Come on. Everyone has the right to do whatever they want, and as long as something's consensual, as long as the special ed guy gets consent from someone else, whether they're special ed or not, I think they should be allowed to reproduce. That, because everyone is born equal, or should be equal, you know? The most important thing for children is to learn to accept discipline. Yeah, for kids, yeah, because kids do a lot of dumb stuff, and they need to respect authority, because chances are authority, like such as your parents, are right about most stuff. There's no savage and civilized peoples, there's only different cultures. Disagree. I strongly disagree. There's crazy No, are you kidding me? The Taliban, I don't care if they have a different culture. That doesn't mean their culture isn't savage and uncivilized. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society support. Strongly agree. It's that easy. So all those unemployed fucks who rely on the welfare and social security, or not even that. Actually, yeah, some people that can work but just use like a light disability. For example, my coworker who has like light polio in his leg but can still work just fine most jobs. He relies on Social Security and spends the Social Security money on alcohol. So, and also to the people that rely on the government paychecks instead of working a regular job because of COVID, I think all of you fuckers shouldn't get shit. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it all depends on the scenario. But if you want to take your mind off, then yeah, I can agree with that. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new. No, disagree. Strongly disagree. They can. Of course they can. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for. No. No. Look at Amazon, for example. They overwork their employees and deny them bathroom breaks. And sure, it will allow for more production, and their product will come out a lot quicker, and there will be more of it. But they're not that good for their employees. So, yeah, no, I'm disagreeing with that. No broadcasting instruction. What? No broadcasting institution. Sorry. However, Independence's contact should receive public funding. What? I don't know what that's saying, but either way, I don't think any of that should get my tax dollars. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. Yeah, to an extent, like the right to privacy, when it comes to like technology, is definitely being curbed a little bit. Like the government looks through our webcams, and Edward Snowden literally exposed them for it. And who knows what else they're doing, honestly. But now it's not asking this, but do I think that's fine and good technically that does violate our rights. However, I think for the sake of like safety, public safety, I think I'm alright with that. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. I don't think that's actually true because, for example, Democrats, especially modern-day Democrats, there's a difference between a leftist and just a regular liberal. Those people will still disagree on a lot of stuff. Because leftists are crazy batshit people that think that everything's bad, everything's racist, and all that. And liberals are not those people. A lot of those leftists call themselves liberals, but they're really not. Leftists are more people that believe that, obviously they believe that some things should be different, such as maybe gun laws and all that, but they aren't the same people. They're a much watered down version of what a leftist is. Are they in the same political party? Technically, yes. But that doesn't mean that they all are the same, you know? So I think it's asking me, do I think this is a true statement? No. And it's same with Republicans, because there's Republicans. Most Republicans out there are not racist people at all. However, there are real white supremacists, not the fake shit that the news tries to portray, that believes that there's only one superior race. And, I mean, there's obviously argument against that, you know, obvious argument against that. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Yeah, I agree. Because, well, it depends on what you mean by worried. If you mean, like, worried about being spied on, then everyone should be worried in that case. But if you're worried about getting caught, then yes. So, let me not say strongly. I'll say agree, because it's not, like, super specific, but yeah, the death penalty should be an opinion for the most serious crimes, or sorry, it says option. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Yeah, because if you put like the Boston bomber, for instance, in prison for life, then we're still paying for him to get fed and to live in prisons. So I think we should just put him to sleep and throw the casket into the ocean with Bin Laden. Or not even a casket, just throw his fucking body in there. So that, you know, I don't have to pay for his ass. In a civilized society, one must have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. No, everyone, if you live in a civilized, well, I think you need, I don't agree with how it's, this wording's bad. I don't agree with one person being, no, I'm going to say disagree, because you don't need to have people above being obeyed. You don't need to obey people above you. No, I actually strongly disagree, because this is making it sound like the government is a king and you're the servants of the king. So no, I'm not saying everyone should be like equal and that there shouldn't be a leader, because there should be a leader that is in charge of the society, that guides in the right way, but that makes it sound like someone's a dictator, you know? Abstract art does not represent anything, shouldn't be considered art at all. Let me see what that is. No, abstract art is art. Yeah, I disagree. I strongly disagree, because I mean, how is this not art? It's that simple. How's that not art? In criminal justice, punishment should be more equal than rehabilitation. It all depends on the crime. If it's like pedophilia, I think that pedophiles are not punished for long enough. I think that they should be like put away for 20 years at least. Even if it's not like the worst case of pedophilia, I think they should be put away for 10 plus years at the very minimum. So, drug dealers, yeah, I agree. I agree, because again, drug dealers, they don't necessarily have a problem. That's just a hustle, and they know what they're getting involved in. And I mean, I'm not saying that drug dealers, for example, have that many choices, but you still do have a choice. You don't need to do it. And if you get caught, you gotta suffer the consequences. Actually, I'm going to say strongly agree, actually. It is a waste of time to try and rehabilitate some criminals. Yeah, like pedophiles are a big one. They can't. Once a pedophile, always a pedophile. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and artist. No, I think everyone's important. I think everyone has a part to play in a company, and no matter where you are in life. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is no. There's dads. Some dads are stay-at-home dads. You kidding me? No. I think that husband and wife, if one of them needs to stay home, I think that it could be the dad or could be the mom. I think it should be up to them. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. I don't know enough about this, to be honest, but I mean, it does sound like something they could be doing. So just for the sake of getting this done, I'll just agree. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. No, because what if the establishment is being immature? Like a lot of our current politicians, you kidding me? I think people should be allowed to confront and question the government, for example, you know? So no, I'm going to disagree with that. Astrology accurately explains many things. No, it doesn't. I mean, it has a lot of interesting stuff in it, but do I believe any of it's true? No. You cannot be mortal or moral without being religious. Obviously, you can have morals. You don't need to be a Christian or anything. You can be an atheist and have morals. Charity is better than social security as a... Yes. Yes, of course. Some people are naturally unlucky. Yep, I gotta agree with that, and I'm one of them. It is important that my child's school... No, I don't think they should have that. No. Sex outside marriage is usually immoral. It depends on what religion you are. Now, obviously, it is as a Christian. However, I'm not perfect. I'm trying not to do that. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, that's just what I agree with. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of... I think they should be allowed to have adoption. I agree. I think they should be allowed to adopt a child. I don't see anything wrong with that. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal. Yeah, I agree. I'm not just saying that because I watch porn. I think that's, you know. What goes on in a private bedroom between the consenting adults is yeah, obviously. You think I want to be the next Kim K and Ray J out on Pornhub? Nah, I'm good, buddy. No one can feel naturally disagree. These days, openness about sex has got... Yes, I agree, because I don't care about what... Dude, look, I'm fine with whatever you're into, as long as it doesn't affect me and I don't see it. But nowadays, everyone, it's in the freaking news, like, this person has come out as transgender into animals. Like, bro, I don't care. Okay, now, obviously, maybe I'm over-exaggerating with that example, but if the news half the time comes out with, like, this actor has finally come out as homosexual or something like that, like, good for them, I don't care. Don't put that crap in the news, like... Just keep it to yourself, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Now, I think that was the last page. Drum roll, please. I hope y'all heard that. Let's see where I stand. Oh, wait. This is where I am. Okay. Oh, I was looking up here, and I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, that's not me. Oh, okay, so this is... Dude, China is all the way... What are you talking about? China is definitely farther down there than that. Yeah, this makes... But yeah, anyway. This makes sense, though. I definitely do feel... I'm not... Like, this is pretty accurate. Because I'm definitely not a leftist. I'm probably more libertarian than anything. I'm definitely more on the right, I feel. And... yeah, that's just... I think this is pretty accurate. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn notifications on for when I upload. And if you want to check me out on any other platform, twitch.tv/crushgames for when I stream. Still have to get a schedule. And obviously this next part's definitely optional. But if you want to follow my Instagram, I post funny stuff sometimes. So yeah, check me out on those links. And I'll see you guys all later. Take care.